The Nintendo Switch 2 is finally here, and with it comes a fresh batch of launch titles. Some are absolute must-play, others not so much. If you're wondering which games are worth your time and which ones to skip, this video's for you. From instant hits to forgettable filler, let's break down the highlights and lowlights of the Switch 2's launch lineup. Mario Kart World, the flagship title of the Switch 2 and the one almost everyone is picking up. Mario Kart World delivers classic kart racing action with a fresh twist. It introduces an open-world hub that, while not fully realizing its potential, adds a new layer of exploration between races. Sure, it may not make the most convincing case that going open-world was the boost the series truly needed, but it still shines where it counts. The core racing remains tight, fast, and chaotic fun. Multiplayer is as strong as ever, and the new Knockout Tour mode adds an exciting, competitive edge. With incredible polish and that familiar Nintendo charm, it's easily the most essential launch title. If you're getting a Switch 2, this one's basically a no-brainer. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. More of a glorified tutorial than a real game. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour tries to show off the console's features, but ends up feeling more like homework than fun. What could have been a charming intro is instead a dull mix of lifeless mini-games, shallow tech demos, and bland trivia. Even if it were a free pack-in title, the execution falls flat, lacking the creativity or charm Nintendo is known for. At a budget price, it might seem harmless, but you're honestly better off discovering the console's features yourself than slogging through this uninspired checklist. Split Fiction. From Hazelight Studios, the creative minds behind It Takes Two, comes another masterclass in co-op storytelling. Split Fiction is an expertly crafted adventure that pinballs between genre extremes from action-packed sequences to puzzle-solving, platforming, and beyond. It's a roller coaster of fresh ideas and constantly shifting gameplay styles that keeps you hooked from start to finish. It looks and plays great on the Switch 2, offers full crossplay, and even includes game share features. Whether you're solo or with a friend, this is a standout title. Survival Kids. We had high hope for this reboot of Survival Kids, especially with its nostalgic roots and charming setup. A group of kids stumbling upon an old map and ending up on a deserted island sounds like the perfect setup for a fun co-op adventure, and it tries to capture that with local and online multiplayer. But despite the potential, it falls flat fast. The gameplay leans heavily on repetitive co-op puzzles and clunky mechanics that feel more frustrating than fun. It clearly wants to channel the chaotic energy of something like Overcooked, but it never quite finds the right rhythm. In the end, it's more of a missed opportunity than a must-play. Hogwarts Legacy. A major step up from the original Switch port, Hogwarts Legacy on the Switch 2 finally does justice to the wizarding world in handheld form. Visuals are sharper, performance is smoother, and the revamped Joy-Con control scheme feels surprisingly intuitive. The open-world adventure nails the Hogwarts student fantasy, with richly detailed environments, challenging combat, and plenty of magical moments to discover. Sure, it's still held back a bit by a weak main story, repetitive enemy design, and occasional technical hiccups. Still, none of that overshadows the sheer joy of exploring the castle, flying your broom, and casting spells. It might not match high-end systems, but for handheld wizarding fans, it's a solid pickup. Ridge Racer. I have no idea why this game ended up as a launch title for the Switch 2. Maybe it's here just for the Legacy fans, but let's be honest, we haven't had a proper new Ridge Racer in over a decade. Sure, it's still a fun arcade racer if you're into retro vibes, but this version doesn't bring anything new to the table. It's already available on Switch 1, Xbox, PlayStation, and honestly, retro fans can play it through countless systems or emulation. It's shallow, simplistic, and feels more like filler than a real reason to upgrade. Unless you're a die-hard fan, there's really no reason to buy it on Switch 2. Deltarune. Quirky, creative, and full of heart, Deltarune brings back the signature charm of Undertale in a new and exciting way. While the early chapters may feel a bit uneven or repetitive at times, the game quickly finds its rhythm with each new chapter, offering unforgettable characters, wild surprises, and laugh-out-loud moments. Even though the story is only halfway done, what's here is already packed with hilarious writing, emotional depth, and a soundtrack that slaps harder than it has any right to. With its offbeat humor, pacifist themes, and bold storytelling, Deltarune continues to prove it's one of indie gaming's most fascinating and heartfelt journeys. If you like your RPGs weird, witty, and wonderfully unique, this one's for you.